Good morning to you, friends. Finally, a Friday. It is September 12th. We got a lot to talk about. Joan, good morning. Sam, good morning. It is really interesting.
This was the world's longest week.
It is the world's longest week. But one of the things that I find interesting about what's going on is there seems to be a very legitimate witch hunt that is going on right now on social media. Your lead story, Joan, was about who was it? Paramedic? Was it a paramedic at the Nashville Fire Department who posted something vile? And one of the things that I'm noticing, and I love this, is that I'll go into my social media and I'm seeing all of these people that are sending me the posts of people that are awful and vile and posting things about Charlie Kirk. I love that.
Are they local people? Because they
some
need to be
local,
exposed.
Some are local and some are not. And so far what I've received are what has been out there. Like yesterday after I got off the show, I got one about the paramedic.
Yeah.
There's a few others. There's so many now. And I love the fact that we had Matthew Hurd on, of course, yesterday, talking about the MTSU assistant dean of students. And so we had him on yesterday. He's going to be on with Murphy Show today, this afternoon in studio. But I love what Republicans are doing. I love what conservatives are doing. They're finding these people and they're outing them as they should. And here's the thing. It's not only, people who work at universities or fire departments. I think there's a Vandy nurse that I'm going to get into. So these folks are all over the place. And one of the things that I think bears a discussion is, okay, so if it is an MTSU professor, assistant of dean, whatever, assistant of students, whatever it is that, do you really want people who are this vile teaching your kids or influencing your kids? And the answer to that question obviously is no. So the more that we see these people being outed, and there's actually a website, and I'm going to get into all of this. There's actually a website now where you can see all of these people that are saying hostile, abhorrent, vile things about Charlie Kirk and his murder. And I'm going to play some audio from The View coming up here in a second. But one of the things that I was really touched by was J.D. Vance. I don't know if you saw the video, Joan, but you can find it on my X feed at Dan Mandis Show. J.D. Vance was in Utah carrying Charlie Kirk's coffin to Air Force Two. Yeah. He and others, obviously.
Usha was there.
Usha was holding hands with Erica, the wife of Charlie Kirk, who's, what do you say? She's got a number of things going on.
Yeah.
She's lost her husband. She has now 2 children that she is going to have to explain all of this to. And you've got all of the hatred that is coming towards her family, and her now murdered husband. Now, here's the good news. The good news is that there are so many people that are on our side that are finding and exposing the bad people. And I think that overall, I don't know, this is a good question. Do you think that overall, the outrage over what people are saying about Charlie Kirk and being happy that he was murdered, do you think that there is significant outrage enough over those people as they continue to be exposed and fired? Do you think that will teach these folks on the left a lesson like, maybe we need to tone down the rhetoric? Because here's the thing, Sam, is that you have people saying, the rhetoric needs to be toned down on both sides, which is complete and utter BS, because both sides, as in our side, we're not the ones that are throwing down the hostile, violent rhetoric. It's people on the left. And as we all know, and we talked about this a lot yesterday, all Charlie Kirk was doing was debating, going into hostile territory and debating. And for that, he lost his life. So I don't believe that both sides need to tone down their rhetoric. I think the left needs to tone down their rhetoric.
I think they need to realize it's a 80-20 on the rhetoric side. There is so much footage out there of Democrat activists and politicians calling for violence, using sneaky language to do it. But to your point about all these people that are exposing themselves as the hateful, they are the bigots. You know, as much as they want to call us the bigots, they're the true bigots. There is a movement spreading like wildfire to find these people out. Elementary school teachers, high school football coaches. I just saw something Shia Reichik posted on Lives of TikTok about some guy at MIT and Harvard. They are coming out of the woodwork, and let them expose themselves.
See, I'm all about that. If they want to come out and they want to expose, I had a thing. The very first guy that ever hired me in radio, you'll love this, Joan. First guy that ever hired me in radio, probably 19 or 20 years old when he hired me. And his name was Bob. And I don't know how I ended up on, he ended up on my, I don't know what you call it, my Facebook feed. Because I have not heard or thought about this guy in 40 years. 40 years, mind you. All of a sudden, this jackhole ends up on my Facebook feed. And he's saying the most gosh-awful things about Charlie Kirk. It's celebratory. Remember, I talked about this, Joan?
Yeah.
Where Amy said, this was about a week or two ago, and he was saying really nasty things about Donald Trump. And I had this whole thing typed out, and then Amy said, why would you do this? Like, why bother? Because this guy's nothing to you. And I was so mad, and I thumbed out my response. You know what I'm talking about? And I so wanted to hit post. But I didn't. I listened to my wife, and I just deleted I didn't post it. So then all of a sudden, yet again, there his feed is on mine, and he's celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Finally, I decided, you know what? I've had enough. And I replied to his post. Because, you know, all of his lefty friends were like, yeah, you're right, go get him. And I posted on there. And again, I don't know how I ended up on this thing. I don't really know how Facebook works with the algorithms and all that.
Yeah.
But I posted and I said, realize you are celebrating the murder of a human being. And then I went on to say, I look at your feed and all you do is repost memes and share, you know, popular liberal diatribes. I said, do you ever actually really think for yourself? And that's what I did, which is very not in my nature in my private life. It's just not. And so I basically called him out all the things that he had posted. And I basically said, you know, you and your friends are going to all pat yourselves on the back for celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. But realizing celebrating the murder of a human being is incredibly vile.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Especially when it has escalated to political violence of someone that was never an elected official, that never had any authority or power to legislate, make laws, ruin your life in any capacity.
He just talked.
He just talked for a living, and he was damn good at it.
Well, that's why they killed him, Sam. That's why they killed him, because he was winning. It's like I said yesterday. Charlie Kirk was winning the debate. He was influencing people. And so whoever took him out, and I don't know, maybe we'll find out today who took him out. Here's my prediction. I predict they're going to find the dude dead.
I think that's likely.
Yeah, and I was talking to somebody last night at the Charlie Daniels thing. Somebody said, well, I hope they find him dead. And I said, respectfully, no.
Yeah.
We want him alive because we want to know who he was working for. Mm-hmm. We want to know.
And with. Who was he working with?
Who is he working for? Who is he working with?
Yeah.
Was it a foreign government? All of those kinds of things we need to know. By the way, anything going on in traffic?
No.
All right.
No.
So you guys want to hear some funny audio from The View?
Oh, yeah. Is it funny or is it infuriating? Come on.
My blood pressure's high enough today.
It's infuriatingly funny.
Okay.
All right.
This is The View on the death of Charlie Kirk.
Isn't a fundamental part of being an American that we are able to express our opinions to each other without fear, without this kind of horror happening? And it seems to be something we have been seeing more and more of. And it's not even left or right. It's just people being taken out because of their beliefs.
There's just no place for this kind of violence in this country. I am heartbroken over it. I cannot believe that someone would kill another person because they were speaking their beliefs.
So here's the funny thing. The women who have spent the last 8-9 years calling Donald Trump Hitler and Nazis, demonizing our side, they just have no idea how in the world this would have happened.
How does that happen?
And somehow it's a both sides issue.
Yeah, right.
It's not a both sides
Yeah.
issue. This is a their side issue. And also remember when the Minnesota, the state lawmakers in Minnesota were shot. So nobody's celebrated on our side. Do you remember anybody celebrating on our side when they were shot? No, nobody's celebrated on our side. And so, and we have said it over and over again, which is you pick your own worst enemy as far as the Democrats go, right? I don't know. Is it Ilhan Omar? Is it Rashida Tlaib? Whoever. If they were, and I would obviously never want this to happen, but if something horrible happened to them, our side would not celebrate.
No.
Our side would not celebrate. So I think the more that the left does these things, the more the right is going to call them out. And I love what is going on. You know, the thing about The View is they'll have all of the crocodile tears and they'll be, people are just expressing an opinion. But you've been demonizing them, not to mention the fact that they blatantly lie. And we've talked about this many times, about how The View will blatantly lie about what Donald Trump has said, what he has done. You name the conservative, and they'll take them out of context and put it in the worst context possible. That's what The View does. So, and they'll have their crocodile tears today and tomorrow and the next day. But then eventually they'll go back to demonizing the right like they always do. And so for them to, have these, what they would consider important conversations about free speech in America, they have every right to say what they're going to say. But there is going to be reactions when people listen to what they say and call BS on it. And I would never want these folks to any harm to befall anyone on The View or anyone else. That's not what our side does. Now, Charlie Kirk, he put himself out there. He was truly a beacon of free speech, where he was he's there and the student or whoever is over there, and they're just debating and they're going back and forth. And for that, he was murdered. And you have all these people that are out there saying, that guy that I was talking about that hired me 40 years ago and I slammed him on, and by the way, I blocked him, but I slammed him on his Facebook page. So one of the things that they're out there saying is that Charlie Kirk said that gay people should be stoned, right? This is part of what they're trying to do to justify their exuberance and justifying his murder. They are taking his comments, cherry-picked and out of context.
Yeah.
So one of the things that they are out there saying is that Charlie Kirk said that gay people, right, should be stoned. Now, Charlie Kirk never said that, obviously. They took something that he said way out of context. So we are going to talk about that and a whole lot more straight ahead. By the way, am I the only one that was a little confused yesterday when they said that they were close to capturing the person that murdered Charlie Kirk, but then they came out and offered a $100,000 reward?
Something's so not right with that.
Yeah, you don't offer a $100,000 reward if the walls are closing in on the bad guy.
Yeah.
You don't. So, and by the way, conservatives, I don't know if you saw this, conservatives are adding to that reward. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more straight ahead. We are going to continue to take calls today, Sam, just so you know. So I think part of the storyline today is the fact that there is a legit witch hunt. And then when I say a legit witch hunt, what I mean is I think it is terrific that you have Republicans and conservatives exposing the people that are saying awful things about Charlie Kirk and his murder. So if you have something to say, basically how we're going to work is this, Sam, is that phone lines are just going to be open. And so just take them off hold. And if you've got something to say about this, I feel like now we are, yesterday was, well, for this show, because of the way the timing is, yesterday was our first chance to, really talk about the shock and the horror of losing Charlie Kirk. So that was that stage. Now, I think we are more apt to be pissed off.
Yep.
And that's kind of where I'm at now, Joan, and Sam, I know you are as well.
This has been the most cathartic exercise for all of us to be able to express our feelings. So yeah, there's the grief, but I think you're right. We've
Stages.
Different
stages.
We've moved into the stage of anger.
We're into the
righteous anger.
And a clarity, just to add a clarity of mind. The people are going to come out and say, "Oh, I don't condone political violence or any violence of any sort." But if you end that with a but or a however, shut the hell up.
All right, so I know that today's show is going to sound like, we are being and moaning about all these people talking about, Charlie Kirk and celebrating his murder. But we're actually not. What we're doing is we are, I'm not going to say celebrating, but we are really, Joan, talking about how I am happy that conservatives are going after and exposing these jackholes who are celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk.
Right. No more nice guy. Like, no, we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tolerance is over.
Yeah.
And here's what I also like, is that these people are seeing actual consequences to their behavior. So I think we were talking earlier about how this might be like an 80-20 issue where like 80% of America is horrified at what happened to Charlie Kirk. But these 20%, they're really loud. And I hope that they're going to suffer some consequences, not anything, physically harmful. But I mean, if they got to lose their job and whatever, and they got to be publicly shamed and publicly flogged, absolutely. You got this whole thing, and I'm going to get into this coming up next. You know what they're actually doing now, these people, is they are talking about and posting who they would like to be next. That's what they're doing. So phone lines are open, 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. Just so you folks know, today's show is going to be, rather loosey-goosey like it kind of was yesterday. Usually I'm very structured. No structure to today's show at all. So if y'all call in and you want to have a conversation about what's going on, that is fine. I've got plenty to, talk about this morning. Phone lines are open, though, 615-737-9986. So we're talking about what's going on the left and how the right is calling them out with righteous indignation and anger. So this is what people are saying on the socials as people on the left now are calling for who's next. So you got Joe Rogan.
Wait, no, he's not making the...
Papailas said, correct. Okay. Papailas says, I hope they do Joe Rogan next.
Oh, my.
Another one.
Gosh.
Nice. Can we do Ben Shapiro next? J.K. Rowling? Is it Rowling or Rowling?
Rowling.
She's a big-time lib.
She's a big-time lib, but she doesn't want men in women's locker rooms.
She's called out the transgender nonsense.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you've got people that are banning or boycotting Harry Potter. Yep. I mean, just all the stupidity.
I actually have a caller that Joe Rogan was doing a podcast with Charlie Sheen. He's coming back into the. Yeah. Did you see they had a live reaction as they concluded the podcast to finding that out?
Can you see if you can find that? I want to see that. I couldn't find the
live
short
reaction?
of it. Yeah, the live reaction. Joe Rogan, when he and Charlie Sheen were recording that that podcast, they found out in real time, and I guess they left it in, and their reaction was taped. So can you see if you can find me the...
Whoa.
And Charlie Sheen was the voice of reason. Obviously Joe too, but just the fact that what we know about him in his, celebrity ways in the 2000s was being a reasonable, sane adult despite everything he's done to himself.
Right. Exactly. All right, let's take some calls real quick. James is in Nashville on WTN. Hey, James.
Hey, Dan, how you doing today?
I am all right. Go ahead, sir.
I had 3 points I wanted to address with you. The first point is, and you can address them individually, and I'll hang up and listen. I'm kind of surprised that the FBI has not admitted that if we have biometrics that we could use to identify the facial recognitions and identify that with government IDs to see who the killer might be. Second ID is people have seen the shooter on the roof, but there's not been any news reports if any of them notified the authorities to let them know what they saw, so it could have been investigated or anything like that. And the other thing is I would like to see if you could get Marsha Blackburn on the line at some point and ask her if there can be any sort of repercussions for members of Congress or the Senate in terms of, yes, they can exercise their First Amendment rights, but when that incites violence against individuals, what repercussions can be held against them in terms of their position?
All right.
And I'll hang up and listen.
All right, thanks, James. Let's see here. He brings up a great point about facial recognition because you've seen the photos. I mean, if you haven't, they're all over the place.
They're a little grainy, though.
Some new ones came out that are a lot more clear. So you would think that they would be able to find this guy pretty quickly unless he was in some sort of a disguise. Yesterday, I saw the video of, and you know what, unfortunately, we're just kind of talking here, so I have to assume that people have seen the video of the shooter limping down the street toward the college. He had actually hidden the gun that he used inside his pant leg. And so then after the shooting, of course, he jumped off the building and went down and then ran into that neighborhood, that subdivision, whatever it was. So they still haven't found him, but he does bring up a great point, which is why in the world can't we, with the facial recognition, find this guy pretty quickly? That's number one. I forgot what number 2 was, but number 3 is, the people on the roof. Yeah, there's video of people who were saying there's a guy up on the roof. And did they alert authorities? One of the things that I heard Chris say was, and I'm stupefied by this, how is it possible that after Trump's assassination attempt in Butler, that we are still leaving a roof unmanned?
And allowing someone to set up in a place where they could be assassinated like this.
It's crazy.
It is.
Like, why would you not? Have we not learned?
And the story that I just did, they saw him on the roof twice in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah,
scoping out a spot. And nobody called police. What?
It's crazy. And everybody knew Charlie Kirk was coming. I think that, is there a naivete of society right now where you see somebody on the roof, maybe they thought that it was an air conditioner repair person. But here's the thing. If you're taking video of somebody up on the roof, which is what I saw on social media, well, then you're obviously suspicious. Tell somebody. And I don't know if they did tell somebody and that somebody didn't do anything. But I mean, good Lord, hopefully moving forward, they learn to protect the roof. But one of the things that Chris said the other day was, you got a guy like Charlie Kirk or Ben Shapiro, somebody shows up to do this kind of a thing, and the security, you're inhibited by what the school will allow. Because remember, they don't want to militarize the school, right? So they don't want a bunch of security, which is absolute BS. So there's a lot to that conversation. Number 3 is what he asked is, can we get Marsha Blackburn on the phone, or maybe Haggerty or somebody, and figure out how we can pass some sort of legislation where if we have people on the left who are, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, where they are inciting violence against people on the right, then can they be held accountable? Now, we do have to be careful because of free speech concerns. And let's be honest, we have a lot of conservatives who also have a lot to say about Democrats. And so it's one of those things where, okay, we got to figure out when it comes to this kind of speech, what can be seen as, over the top and encouraging somebody to do something horrific and somebody just criticizing someone else. Like, that's the thing. We can't get into a situation here in society where we're not allowed to speak our mind. I actually just had somebody on the super text line who said I shouldn't be saying some of the things that I'm saying because I'm sounding like the other side. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm not advocating for violence. I'm not calling anybody Hitler or any of those things. And I'm responding to what people are saying on social media.
Yeah, it's a false moral equivalency is what it is. And part of the reason I mentioned to you through the talk back, Omar, she came out and was talking about Charlie Kirk's death. Well, he opposed Juneteenth. He didn't celebrate George Floyd's life. And so she's trying to draw.
Because there was so much to celebrate with George Floyd.
Yeah.
Which I do, by the way. I've got the Rogan and Sheen audio, and it is safe for air.
Is there a way we can get the video, or is it just audio?
It's a YouTube clip. I'll send it to you. We'll screen share it.
Send it to the Dan Show. All right, real quick. Joan, they found the guy who had asked Charlie Kirk a question before he was shot?
Oh.
Yeah, he was on CNN. His name is, what is his name? Well, here's what he said.
Yeah.
And people have obviously pointed to the irony that the point that I was trying to make is how peaceful the left was right before he got shot. And that only makes sense if we stay peaceful. And as much as I disagree with Charlie Kirk, I'm on the record for how much I disagree with Charlie Kirk. But, man, dude, he is still a human being. Have we forgotten that? Are we crazy?
Yeah, that's a guy by the name of Hunter Kozak. And we do need to remember.
Wow, he sounds shaken.
We do need to remember that as we go through all of this, and I was talking about some of the posts on social media that have happened where they're saying who's next, who they would like to see taken out next. I don't believe that this is the preponderance, obviously, of people on the left. I don't. I think that there are a lot of people like this guy, Hunter Kozak, who I would disagree with almost everything with him. But it sounds like we're on the same page as far as the murder of Charlie Kirk and the celebration on the left. Now, what I would like to see, though, that being said, is more people on the left coming out and calling out the people that are celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. That is what I would like to see. If you're a Democrat, if you're somebody on that side of the aisle and you see people of your own political persuasion doing that kind of stuff, you ought to call them out. Because here's the deal. It only looks bad. It really looks bad for your side. This is Robert in Colioca on WTN. Hey, Robert.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm all right. Go ahead, sir.
Good. Long-time listener, first-time caller. What about Congress and the people who did not do the moment of silence? Can they be, instead of being, closure or something like that, can they not be just voted out?
No. I mean, they can be censured, that kind of thing, but that effectively doesn't really mean a whole heck of a lot. The problem is that these folks are Democrats and they're voted in by their constituents. Those are the people that they are held accountable to. I mean, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, he can do, there's certain, disciplinary measures that take him off of their committee assignments, that kind of thing. But there was an interview, and Robert, I appreciate the call, especially first-time caller. I actually had audio from yesterday where Johnson basically said, well, the emotions are, you know what? Johnson excused it.
Yeah.
Mike Johnson excused it. That's what he did. Where he said, and maybe I'll try to pull up the audio, but basically he said, oh, yeah, emotions were running high. It's like, okay, well, that's fine. Emotions were running high, but it doesn't excuse the fact that roughly, half your chamber was saying no, that Charlie Kirk, in the moment of his passing, did not deserve a spoken prayer. It's just,
They all found the sufficient means to put garb on that made them look like they were supporting Black causes, whatever, and take a knee on the steps of the Capitol.
Oh, yeah.
And pose for pictures like they were praying for him then.
And every
George
time
Floyd.
the anthem played or we recognized the flag in any capacity, people kneeled over it because of that.
Yes.
Yep. All right, this is Charlie Kirk. No, this is Joe Rogan and Charlie Sheen talking about, in real time as they found out, that Charlie Kirk had been shot. This is Joe Rogan and Charlie Sheen. It's on video as well.
Should we bring this up? I guess we have to. So this just happened. We just found out that Charlie Kirk got shot.
It's awful.
And is he dead?
No, I don't think so.
That's what was just
one of the guys out there just said it was confirmed that he's dead.
In the lobby was just.
I've been looking. I haven't seen anything that said confirmed.
Whoa.
Murder for having a different opinion from somebody else.
Yeah.
Different ideology from somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Beliefs that didn't align.
Did it or,
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Dead?
Yep.
Rest in peace.
Or in News.
Jesus. 27 years old, maybe? 30?
Do they even have a suspect?
I don't know. That's why I'm literally trying to track it all on Twitter, and it's all.
Nobody deserves it. He doesn't deserve that. Nobody deserves that.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if there's been conversations about where were you when you found out Charlie Kirk was shot, but everything is recorded these days. And so people can either post or social media. That in particular was being filmed for Joe Rogan's podcast. But I have had a lot of people ask me, literally, where were you when you found out? Kind of like, when Kennedy was shot or Reagan was shot or whatever. So
when Trump was shot.
When Trump was shot. That as well. Real quickly, because folks have been holding. This is Kevin in White House on WTN. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Dan. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I just want to let you know another incident at Ball State Community College happened to my son yesterday. He was in an English class, and instead of teaching English, the teacher told about what she felt when Charlie passed, and basically she said, "Good, I'm glad that a-hole is dead." Then she proceeded to talk about how Charlie Kirk encouraged the death of homosexuals, and then compared him celebrating the death of Hitler is similar to this situation. And I think people should wake up. This is a state-funded school. Our tax dollars are going to this college, and I don't think most people realize that this is going on in more places than you realize.
Have you?
Thanks for.
Oh, no, hold on. Have you, Kevin, notified the school?
I have, and basically, my son is 16 years old. He's doing dual enrollment because he wanted to get a head start on college, and they're basically wanting him to come in and give like a formal statement, basically kind of putting it back on us, like the burden of proof, when she basically discussed this in every class she had yesterday.
I don't suppose you got it on tape. Did he happen to,
Yeah, there's like between 40 and 60 students who she said this to over an 8-hour period. And instead of just asking the teacher, did you say these things? People are saying that you said this. That's how people do it. They want to put the burden back on you when, it's the teacher would probably admit to saying it because they're not shy about their beliefs either. So.
Well, I mean, just me talking, my opinion doesn't matter, but I would say send your son in there and stand up for what's right. If they need a witness, then your son should be the witness.
Absolutely.
That teaches him a lot of lessons.
Well, and I agree, but kids at that age as well are terrified of situations like that, and they don't want to cause trouble. They don't want retribution or, a bad grade or things like that as well.
Yeah, but if she gets crap, if she was doing this all day and she gets crap canned as she should, then he's not going to have to worry about the bad grades. And by the way,
do me a favor. Yeah, tell me the name of the school again.
Vol State.
Vol State Community College in Gallatin, Tennessee.
And maybe you can tell me this off the air. I'd like to know the name of the teacher.
Yep.
And
okay.
I'd be willing to make a phone call to the school and say, hey, have you fired this teacher yet?
Let's put Kevin on hold. Going to put him on hold. And real quick, I want to get to Chris in Spring Hill. Chris, real quick, go ahead, sir. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you. I just want to say most of these people are of age and too old to be acting this way. I know they didn't act this way when they were raised. It's shameful. It's unprofessional. And it's a misrepresentation of a bunch of states out there, of especially senators, congressmen, whatever they are, to be pushing the next person to be as a target.
Right.
Well,
and I'll tell you,
the best thing I ever heard.
Chris, I'm going to say this real quick, Chris. They're going to make it once they find whoever the shooter is. They'll make him into a hero.
Correct.
Yeah. Go ahead, real quick.
Last thing, the best quote I heard yesterday: "You can kill the messenger, but you can't kill the message."
It's exactly right, Chris, and that's why. And thank you for the call. That's why my main message in all of this, as I said, probably ad nauseum yesterday. Find your favorite Charlie Kirk clip or clips and post them on social media and flood the feeds with the message of Charlie Kirk.